Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the third annual State of the College at El Camino College. My name is Mark Stevens, and I serve as the Director of Public Information and Government Relations at El Camino. Today, you have the opportunity to hear from our president, Dr. Dina Maloney, as she describes how El Camino College is poised to help our South Bay economy recover from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. You'll also hear from several experts who have important insights to offer on what an economic recovery will look like and how the South Bay's signature industries will play a role. And you'll meet an amazing El Camino College student who is realizing her dreams of a career in computer science. More on President Maloney and our guest speakers in a moment. First, to begin today's event, I'm pleased to welcome the Chief of the El Camino Police Department, Michael Trevis, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Following the pledge, Lindsay Stutz, an El Camino College music major from Redondo Beach, will be transferring to USC to study classical performance in opera while singing the national anthem. Chief Trevis.
Ladies and gentlemen, please face the flag of our nation. Stand, place your right hand over your heart and recite with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Lindsay. That was beautiful. We'll now take a moment to recognize and welcome our elected officials, education partners, and other distinguished guests who have joined us today. When you hear your name, feel free to give a wave so everyone can see you. From the office of Senator Dianne Feinstein, Field Representative Jeanette Christian. Representing California's 26th State Senate District, Senator Ben Allen. From the office of State Senator Holly Mitchell, representing California's 30th State Senate District, Field Representative Maeve Giesa. Representing California's 66th State Assembly District, Assemblymember Almer Tsuchi. Former Assembly Member for California's 53rd State Assembly District, George Nakano. From the Office of Los Angeles County Supervisor Janice Hahn, South Bay Deputy Jennifer Lamarque. Representing the City of Manhattan Beach, Mayor Richard Montgomery. Representing the City of Inglewood, Mayor James Butts. Representing the City of Lomita, Mayor Mark Warnick. Representing the El Camino Community College District Board of Trustees, Ken Brown, Vice President, Mary Combs, Secretary, Nilo Vega Michelin, Trustee, and Faith Adams, Student Trustee. Representing Red Rocks Community College, President Michelle Haney. From the Torrance Unified School District, Interim Superintendent Tim Stowe. From the Torrance Unified School District Board of Trustees, Board President Terry Reagans. From the Torrance Adult School, Director Wayne DiUlio. From the El Segundo Unified School District, Superintendent Melissa Moore and Assistant Superintendent Marissa Janacek. From the Redondo Beach Unified School District, Assistant Superintendent Susan Wilds. From the Centinela Valley Union High School District, Superintendent Gregory O'Brien. From the Da Vinci Schools Board of Trustees, Board President Don Brann. From the Lawndale Elementary School District, Superintendent Betsy Hamilton. From the South Bay Adult School, Director Drew Gamet. From the West Basin Municipal Water District, Director Scott Houston. And representing the El Camino College Foundation Board of Directors, Board President John Heffernan. Again, we extend a warm welcome to all of you. We'll start today's program with a look at the vibrant life of El Camino College. We hope you enjoyed that glimpse into a busy and exciting year at El Camino College. Our first guest today is Bill Allen, CEO of the Los Angeles Economic Development Corporation. The LAEDC's mission is to work with partners in business, education, and government to advance opportunity and prosperity for everyone in Greater Los Angeles. Mr. Allen is active in numerous civic and economic development organizations in the LA region. Previously, he was a television, network, and studio executive with nearly 20 years of experience in entertainment production and management. He's a graduate of both USC and Pepperdine. Please welcome Bill Allen.
There we go. I needed the host to unmute me. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mark, for that kind introduction. I'd like to begin by extending my thanks to you and Dr. Maloney and the extraordinary leadership team here at El Camino College for inviting me to participate in your 2020 State of the College program today. It's so encouraging to see the number and diversity of the community stewards who have logged on today to participate virtually in this State of the College event. I take it as a sign of your individual and collective commitment to continue your investment in, collaboration with, and advocacy for this critically important institution and the role that it plays in our economy and our community. I'm especially encouraged to see such distinguished representatives from business and government, as well as from our education sector. At the LAEDC, we believe that all three must be engaged to be successful in our collaborative pursuit of our shared goals of economic recovery and reinvention in the pursuit of a more equitable, sustainable, and resilient economy that advances both opportunity and prosperity for everyone in our region. The LA County region is home to a powerful and globally competitive regional economy, to put it relatively modestly. Among nations of the world, the LA County economy ranks 18th, and among counties across this nation, LA County's economy ranks a solid number 1. The 5 million members of our county's labor force generated a countywide GDP exceeding $800 billion last year. And we saw unemployment here reduced to 4.3% before the spread of the coronavirus pandemic began to accelerate in March of this year. In just March and April alone, more than 700,000 area residents lost their jobs here, largely as a result of the well-intended public health orders instituted to slow the spread of the virus. Additionally, tens of thousands of small businesses and micro enterprises closed, many of them permanently, and in many cases taking with them the life savings of those small business and micro enterprise entrepreneurs who risked everything to establish their businesses, pursue their dreams, create employment for others, and contribute to the local tax base, which funds the essential services our local governments provide. Just as the health effects of the virus have been disproportionately visited upon low-income and underrepresented communities, so too have the economic impacts. In fact, a disproportionate number of those dislocated from their employment due to the pandemic have been young adults, women, and people of color. Most of these folks lost their jobs because they simply work in consumer-facing businesses, such as restaurants and bars, retail stores, arts and entertainment facilities, hotels and convention centers, airports and airlines, movie theaters, theme parks, gyms, and personal services like barbershops, nail salons, or massage therapy establishments. The ability to work remotely was not available to most of these folks. And when their employers were prohibited from opening their doors over the past 8 months, they lost their jobs through no fault of their own. While there has been some limited recovery of a couple 100,000 of these jobs between May and October, mostly due to the limited reopening of some of those establishments and the provision of the federal payroll protection program under the CARES Act, nearly 500,000 people who lost their jobs in the spring still remain unemployed across LA County. And frankly, the prospect of many of them regaining their unemployment anytime in the next 6 months is rather dim. Most economists expect it will take several years to fully reemploy these 500,000 neighbors of ours. Sadly, economists and others also project that many of the jobs they lost may never return to our region or to others in this country. They may have become victims of the changes in our economy that have been evident in recent years, but became much more pronounced and accelerated as a result of the changes in behavior of both consumers and businesses as a result of the pandemic. For instance, we've seen an extraordinary acceleration of the transition from brick and mortar retail to e-commerce, causing the failure and closure of many large national retail chain stores, as well as many small local mom and pop retailers. Similarly, the restaurant industry simply can't survive operating at only 25 to 50% occupancy, nor will that work in our movie theater industry or many other sectors. In recent months, many people who dined out pre-COVID have gotten quite comfortable ordering food to be delivered to their homes or simply making more of their own meals at home. Avid movie theater patrons have become equally avid subscribers and viewers of entertainment content in their homes through streaming services like Netflix, Disney+, Hulu, HBO Max, Amazon, or Apple TV. Office-based professionals are working remotely. Many large employers have indicated they may never require all their employees to return to office environments. In addition, the move towards automation and robotics, already accelerating in recent years due to advances in machine learning, computer vision, processing power, and speeds, has been further accelerated, while the interest has grown for many businesses to transition to such technology to be able to continue operating efficiently and competitively and without putting human employees at risk while a dangerous virus continues to spread amongst us. If trends such as these continue to any meaningful degree in the years ahead, even after a vaccine becomes available, and many economists believe they will, then many of the jobs associated with the prior activities will not return to our economy. But obviously new ones will. And that means hundreds of thousands of our neighbors and millions of Americans will need to be retrained or upskilled. And the front line for much of that training will occur on our community college campuses. Campuses like El Camino College, which has a long history of partnering successfully with local employers to develop and continuously refine academic and training curriculum, and innovative apprenticeship programs like Aeroflex for the aerospace industry and BioFlex for the bioscience industry, to meet the ever-evolving needs of these and other local industries. You'll hear some exciting examples of that work today, and I hope you'll actively support it, as its success is absolutely central to our ability to reinvent our industries and to recover the level of economic activity overall that we enjoyed pre-COVID, and that we will need again to fully reemploy all of our neighbors who've lost their ability to provide for themselves and their families. And while we're about the business of helping our industries reinvent themselves to survive and thrive in a post-COVID world, we should also be thinking about how to create more equitable access to both education and employment, with more strategic, targeted support for members of our most vulnerable communities, so that they too can share in the recovery and future prosperity of this region. This is critical because even pre-COVID, when our overall unemployment level in the region had fallen well below 5%, unemployment among our youth, people of color, and low-income communities was much higher, as it has long been. Such disparities actually hold back the rate of our overall economic growth and the growth in our local tax base, as well as leading more of our neighbors to turn to government for social safety net services, while at the same time leaving our governments with less resources with which to fund and deliver those essential services. Fortunately, our community colleges cater to a broad cross-section of our communities, including those most vulnerable populations. So we must all invest our time and energy as government, business, education, philanthropic, and community leaders into ensuring that our community colleges have the financial, intellectual, and social resources they need to help all of our neighbors obtain the skills and career education they need to fully participate in our economy and our society. We know that the more training and education one attains, the higher one's earnings are likely to be, and the less likely one is to be dislocated from their employment during periods of economic disruption. So for all these reasons, I'm humbled to be included in today's event and excited to hear from my fellow speakers who've engaged in successful partnerships with the college, as together they have trained so many area residents for gainful employment in well-paying jobs and in industries here in the South Bay, a critically important region of our county that is the primary home and hub, not only of our region's aerospace industry, but frankly of our nation's industry. And the provision of such well-prepared talent to industries such as aerospace and defense and advanced manufacturing strengthens each of these sectors and helps us attract more capital, innovation, and talent to the region in a virtuous cycle of mutually reinforcing growth. When viewed through the lens of industry sectors and clusters, LA County is as diverse an economy as any in the world. And virtually every industry operating across this county, and frankly across the world today, is undergoing some form of disruption from the powerful forces of automation, globalization, and climate change, among others. That is why a multidisciplinary institution such as El Camino College is so important to our future, as it has demonstrated that it is committed to meaningful partnerships with industry to help develop demand-driven short-term training, longer-term academic curricula, work-based learning opportunities, and clearer and more accessible pathways into the existing and emerging occupations in these industries, which provide good pay, benefits, and career ladders leading to independence and prosperity for more of our neighbors. At the LAEDC, we support all of our community colleges, including El Camino College, by partnering with them to create and operate the Center for a Competitive Workforce, which is chaired by El Camino's amazing Dean of Business, Virginia Rapp, and works to strengthen the connections, communication, and collaboration between key industries and the 19 community colleges throughout the LA region. Our economists analyze on an ongoing basis how our regional industry clusters are adjusting their demand for educated and skilled talent, and how our colleges are meeting that demand so that we can more rapidly identify and fill any gaps that will inevitably emerge when industries are going through periods of rapid disruption and transition. And we regularly convene our industry councils and regional program advisories to allow our leading employers and innovators to share their insights directly with faculty and deans at our colleges. And I commend the faculty and deans here at El Camino College for being amongst our most consistent and engaged participants in those meetings. It has been said that the pace of technological change in our world has never been faster than it is today, and will also never again be as slow as it is today. That is a daunting prospect for all of us who are trying to keep up with that rapidly accelerating pace of change. But it's clear that the only way to do so is through sharing information rapidly and directly with trusted partners, and deploying solutions to meet those ever-evolving needs as quickly and efficiently as possible. So if you're a government partner here today, I encourage you to think about how our government can not only provide more financial resources to such essential institutions as El Camino College, but also how you can help free our faculty members to streamline and accelerate the process of curriculum development and approval, and enable more internships, apprenticeships, and job placements, while also working to support the growth of industries here in our region that are likely to provide good jobs for the graduates of these programs in the years ahead. If you're in business, please think carefully about your talent development needs in the years ahead. Start talking to your community college partners now, and continue to do so regularly so that they have the most current and relevant benefit of your knowledge when they are developing or refining their existing curriculum to prepare their students for careers in your enterprises. You can do that locally with the colleges, and you can also do it regionally through the regional program advisories we host with our college faculty. Our industry councils at the LADC partner with our colleges and are helping our aerospace industry with its transition to space commercialization, our transportation industry as it moves to alternative fuels and other new technologies, our entertainment industry as it increases the digitization of its content creation, distribution, and exhibition, and our life science industry as it accelerates the development of the pharmaceuticals, vaccines, and medical devices we'll all need to survive and thrive in the years ahead. If you're in education, whether with our local school districts or institutions of higher education, please pay close attention to the direction and rate of change in our economy. Do what you can to ensure that your students and your faculty are both equipped with more data, evidence, and insights from employers. Insights from employers in our region and organizations like ours that are deeply committed to strengthening, modernizing, and accelerating our talent development pipeline so that it can better meet the rapidly evolving needs of industry, and so that your students can be better connected to and fully prepared for the most promising jobs our future has in store for them. I'll conclude my remarks this morning by noting optimistically that we have a new administration taking office in Washington in the new year, an administration which has expressed a serious commitment to investing in education, infrastructure, manufacturing and innovation, bridging the digital divide, growing our green economy, and many other initiatives that align well with the strengths of our region's industries and the direction of our state and local public policy. We should all work closely together in the days, months, and years ahead to leverage the potential new programs and investments which may flow from or be enabled by federal policy to ensure that all of our residents can benefit and more of our employers can participate in the reimagination and reinvention of our economy into one that is even more globally competitive, while also being more equitable, sustainable, and resilient. These are not mutually contradictory objectives, but rather mutually reinforcing objectives that can ensure truly brighter days ahead for all of us. Thank you, Dr. Maloney, for your extraordinary leadership of this campus, your partnership in our Center for a Competitive Workforce, your commitment to the collaboration necessary between industry and education to realize our economic and social objectives, and for allowing me to be part of such an inspiring program today. I look forward to hearing from you and all of my fellow speakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. We are very grateful to partner with you and with the LA EDC. We appreciate you. Our next guest is Lieutenant General Michael Hamill. He's a career-long space professional serving in both government and private industry for over 45 years. General Hamill began his Air Force career in the early 1970s at the Space and Missile Systems Center and subsequently served in a variety of military space development and operations positions. He was actively involved in and led a diverse set of organizations and commands responsible for launch, satellite development, and operations at SMC, Air Force Space Command, the Pentagon, and other locations, eventually retiring in 2008 as commander of SMC. General Hamill subsequently served in the private sector with both Orbital Sciences Corporation and Lockheed Martin Space, where he led their commercial space business. General Hamill now serves as an independent advisor and consultant on space and defense matters. Please welcome Lieutenant General Michael Hamill. General, you're muted still.
There we go. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So let me pick up here that we are living in unprecedented times. And I want to thank Mark and President Maloney for the very kind invitation to participate in this annual forum as you take stock of where El Camino is today and where it's going. I would say that, first of all, that I want to extend my very sincere personal admiration and respect to all of those in the education arena, the faculties, administrators, and the students who've had to adapt to the challenges of the COVID pandemic and continue to move forward. Community colleges have served an important role in providing knowledge and skills relevant to job opportunities of today and tomorrow, as well as preparing the students for education beyond in a very widely accessible ways. I'd like to do today is just take a few moments to share some perspectives from my many years in the aerospace sector, both in government service as well as in the private business. Share a little bit about my thoughts on where is the aerospace business and industry today and where is it heading tomorrow. First, let me say that this is a changing world. I had the opportunity to grow up in the early days of the space age and became captivated by it. At that time, the nation was on a mission to put men on the moon, and we did so by the late 1960s. We subsequently moved into such things as the space shuttle that gave us regular access to space and the science and other pursuits we were able to achieve. We saw probes go to the far reaches of the solar system and beyond. We saw space grow in our daily lives, whether that be television, direct to home, or being able to track weather events in real time, to having GPS become ubiquitous in every aspect of our daily lives. I also got to experience firsthand the rapid growth of space in our nation's defense. But I would say during those decades, virtually everything was dominated by the US government. And in many cases was being driven by the Cold War competition with the Soviet Union. But the actual performance of the inventing, the building, and the operating of space systems was, for the most part, actually conducted by industry and academia. By the 1990s, we saw that space had become somewhat routine, part of our daily life, maybe in some cases unexciting. Space was not too visible to our daily lives, but it was there. However, oftentimes it cost too much, took too long, in some cases did not keep up with the advances of technology. I would say, though, now we are on the very threshold of seeing a whole new era in space, if you will, a new space age, one of new possibilities, innovation, and excitement that's being driven by technology changes, private investment, and new business opportunities. There are new visions with big, audacious goals, returning humans to the moon and then on to Mars, bringing the internet to every corner of the globe, addressing global climate change, and even, yes, space tourism. It's also about expanding our use of space to provide security and defense, not only for our nation, but also for our friends and allies, and if necessary, for our military to act with speed and precision anywhere on the Earth to protect our interests. As I say, that in the past, the government was the biggest customer and actor, but increasingly it's private industry and investors with new ideas and ambitions, global perspectives, with the necessity of speed and agility, ingenuity, private investment, and all being driven by the logic of the business case. This is all creating a whole new structuring of industry and work in space, and more broadly, high-tech sector, pushing new ways of innovating, developing, building, and using space on a global and mass market basis. No longer is space just for the rocket scientists. However, it's creating new demands for capabilities, skills, and mindsets. So where is the space industry today, and where is it going? And particularly, what are the implications for the workforce? There is an old curse that was, may you live in interesting times. But that's not a curse today, it's actually a blessing. We're living in a period of massive changes in technology, particularly information technology, and its infusion through every aspect and corner of society, human interaction, business, and individual learning, as you all well know in education with the distance learning that now has become much of the norm. We're seeing massive changes in how technology is used, how the nature of work is changing, and what skills are needed to harness and master these changes. I can remember not so long ago, the space business was used and dominated by slide rulers, punch cards, engineering tables, paper drawings, strip charts to conceive of, to design, manufacture, build, test, and fly aircraft, missiles, and satellites, all in a very rigid, very detailed, very esoteric and sequential way. Information technology has changed that. As it has advanced with the dawn of high-speed processors, massive data storage, ubiquitous connectivity, sophisticated software and visualization, the nature and foundations of the aerospace business has and continues to change in every dimension. We're seeing a revolution in modeling simulation, where at very high fidelity and detail, we can imagine how vehicles and their flight environments will perform. Engineering designs can be iterated on literally hundreds of times, and analysis, painstaking analysis can be conducted in hours, if not minutes. Production is highly automated, and additive manufacturing is creating complicated new designs with the touch of a few buttons. Supply chain management allows industry to be able to track from raw materials to end product, every aspect of every component in the systems. We're starting to see that testing and operations are benefiting from being able to use machine learning and other advanced technologies to be able to track and predict exactly how systems are performing. So what are the effects of these changes? The ability to try out and iterate many different concepts, trade off different performance, examine different designs, prove out assembly processes, estimate cost, and most importantly, creating common understanding across the teams, all in digital models and forms and very quick iterations with key stakeholders involved from the start. Small teams, rapid cycles, multidisciplinary members are all driving progress across the board. It's a dramatic time for the aerospace sector. Boundless applications and integration of digital technology and flight controls, mission systems, rapid emerging materials technology such as nanomaterials, ceramics, heat-resistant materials, propulsion, whether that be air breathing, electric, or rocket, is moving forward rapidly. Advanced robotics, artificial intelligence, virtual reality. These are the technologies as well as the tools of the future. All are enabling new mission platforms and applications, from drones and UAVs to microsatellites, launch systems, hypersonics, with applications in military, civil, and increasingly commercial sectors and applications. It's exciting work and career opportunities for young professionals. We've gone from the space excitement of the 60s and 70s to where space was viewed as somewhat mundane and boring, to where, again, now today, being a space techie is actually a pretty cool profession. We are definitely moving into a new space age. But what is it going to take to prepare for the 21st century aerospace careers? As I say, digital and information technologies are no longer just nice to have. They are the essential enabling element for everybody that is going to work in this industry, not only just to survive, but to thrive. Every aspect of business, management, engineering, production, supply chain, and operation are going to require world-class skills and ability to master software, to be able to collaborate, communicate, and iterate. Increasingly sophisticated software tools are allowing designers, machinists, electronics assemblers, test technicians to collaborate and iterate rapidly to create new ideas and produce better products in shorter times. As the use and dependence on these information technologies has exploded, so has the need to protect and secure the systems, data, and tools from a myriad of threats, whether that be international spying, intellectual property theft, or hacker mischief. Protecting information systems is an imperative, and individuals' personal skills at being at the forefront of this are going to be essential. And I think is a major focus of the collaboration between El Camino and Red Rocks Community College, which I think Dr. Maloney is going to speak about. I would say also from my experience in many different locales around the country over my career, one of the key recipes for a strong and vibrant industrial sector is a strong cooperation and collaboration and partnership between government at the federal and the state and local level, between industry from a business and investor design and product standpoint, and from academia, both in terms of the student population, the faculty, the research, and the workforce preparation that universities do. We've seen this in places like Southern California, Silicon Valley, Seattle, Boston, and many other regions, and the formula will continue into the future. The aerospace industry has a rich history and presence in places such as California, Colorado, Alabama, and Florida. And that collaboration, El Camino has been at the forefront for many, many decades. For students, kind of things that are going to be needed as you go forward is, yes, you must master the subject matter of your chosen fields and specialties, but there's other skills that are going to be equally important. And that is developing networking talents, to be able to draw upon mentors, colleagues, future bosses, to be able to understand what will allow for success and what skills do you need. Internships, apprenticeships, where you're actually able to develop hands-on skills and understanding. And it's not just about the technical knowledge, it's also about working in a team. And I'd go beyond that to say things such as professional associations, developing lifelong learning and quest for advancement are going to be important things as you complete your studies and move into industry. For communities, supporting and promoting its industry, governments, and academic organizations is very important. And having served many years in the South Bay area, I was glad to hear so many of the stalwart supporters in the local community continue to be behind and supporting what's going on in colleges and universities in the area. This not only, the reward for that support is not only high quality and good paying jobs, but it's also an innovative business environment and creates foundation for community well-being. And I'd say events such as this are incredibly important in helping to spread the word and continue to cultivate those relationships. So what is the role of higher education? Advanced education and training have always been essential in the aerospace sector. I would say inventing the new materials, electronics, propulsion, sensors has always required world-class engineers and scientists. But I would say that one of the less noticed, perhaps, parts has been the degree to which translating those ideas and concepts into the real products, components, and vehicles requires world-class technicians, assemblers, and testers. And that is one of the key roles that our community colleges have served, not only in the South Bay area, but elsewhere across the country. Community colleges play a critical role in developing practical skills relevant to employers in the industry, not only the technical and administrative skills, but also the communication, teamwork, and work habit skills. It's not only a pathway to good employment, but also a launch pad for further education and skills development. Let me just say in closing here that it's a really exciting time. Those of you that are in studies today, you're on the threshold of some big new things occurring. There's a new excitement, enthusiasm, and opportunity in this sector, and community colleges are a great place to develop the skills to get into the space business and grow with it. Just as we saw from the beginning of the 20th century, the growth of our mastery of aviation and how that contributed to our nation's well-being with transportation, commerce, and defense, I would argue that in the 21st century, this new space age is going to poise the United States to continue its leadership in the world in exploitation of space. And this is not something where we can settle for second place. I wish all the students, faculty, and community continued success as you take bold new steps into what promises to be an exciting future. Thank you.
Thank you, General Hamill. We'll now hear from Dr. David Liao, the Director of Talent Acquisition for the Strategic Space Systems Division at Northrop Grumman. In this role, he's responsible for the division's hiring of experienced professionals. Previously, David served in engineering and talent acquisition roles of increasing responsibility, including Enterprise Manager of Strategic University Partnerships, where he helped establish a University Relations Center of Excellence. In addition, Dr. Liao is serving his first term on the El Camino College Foundation's Board of Directors. He earned bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degrees from the University of Michigan in electrical engineering with a focus on electromagnetics. He conducted his research in space sciences and plasma sciences. Please welcome Dr. David Liao.
Thank you, Mark, for the kind introduction, and thank you, President Maloney, for the kind invitation to speak to all of you today. I hope that the entire El Camino College students, faculty, staff, and community are well during this dynamic time. I'm excited to be here to discuss the always important, but at this time, even more important aspects of career opportunities and talent development, especially the talent pipeline for the aerospace industry and some examples of the partnerships that we have built as a company and a community with El Camino College and other colleges and universities. But first, I would like to personally commend El Camino College for the amazing pivot the college has made in the face of COVID-19. The faculty and students have transitioned seamlessly to online teaching and learning, and the college has supported teachers with materials and training to transition online. In addition, the college has provided so much great support to the students, and I want to commend them for that, such as the laptop loan and internet access program, the drive-through warrior food bank, the Student Emergency Fund, and virtual counseling, amongst so many other amazing services. And now I'd like to build on Lieutenant General Hamill's spot-on comments as it pertains to the industry perspective on the talent pipeline. My employer, Northrop Grumman, is one that is focused on solving the toughest problems in space, aeronautics, defense, and cyberspace to meet the ever-evolving needs of our customers worldwide. Our 90,000 employees define possible every day using science, technology, and engineering to create and deliver advanced systems, products, and services. In the greater Los Angeles region, we have nearly all of our businesses represented. We have our aeronautics system sector headquartered up in Palmdale, California, and also advanced manufacturing lines and engineering design in Palmdale as well as in El Segundo. Our Strategic Space Systems division of our space systems sector is headquartered right here in Redondo Beach, California, in the campus we know as Space Park, where we design, develop, manufacture, and integrate large spacecraft for various government, science, and military customers. In addition, we also do payload design and development for our space systems sector here in Redondo Beach. We also develop guidance, navigation, and control systems in Woodland Hills. With unprecedented growth currently across the Northrop Grumman enterprise, similar to the space industry as a whole, we have a need to hire thousands of new employees each year, and this cannot be accomplished without our amazing educational partners from K through 12 to colleges and universities. For us to meet the formidable challenges that lie ahead, we must continue to find new ways to grow and retain the talent we will need from coming generations. Now, while that challenge is what first drew me to Northrop Grumman, the creative ways with which we have to innovate in order to find, grow, and retain the talent that we need to be successful is what inspired me to transition from being an engineer on programs in Space Park to being here in talent acquisition. Our company and our industry's philosophy is that a well-trained workforce that can bring diversity of thought, diversity of education, diversity of experiences, and critical problem-solving skills to the table will result in the best and the most innovative ideas. As our company, our products, and how we develop those products continues to evolve, so do the skill sets required. We focus on recruiting and developing skill sets, including engineering, across all engineering disciplines, and have expanded to digital engineering and model-based engineering in line with the government. Other disciplines include technicians, assemblers in manufacturing, including additive manufacturing, cybersecurity, business management and supply chain, facilities and other skilled trades, amongst many other disciplines. As an example of our commitment to growing talent across the entire Northrop Grumman enterprise, we hire over 2,500 interns a year and over 2,000 entry-level hires out of various colleges and universities across the entire nation. And during this unprecedented summer, I'm so proud of our university relations and recruiting team and our business and our leadership that did not rescind a single internship due to COVID-19, and instead quickly transitioned to a hybrid internship program, including onboarding employees virtually and delivering an engaging, socially distanced internship experience through things such as virtual game nights, virtual tech talks, virtual lab tours, and so much more. Pretty much the only thing we couldn't do virtually from a typical intern summer is replicating the Summer Aerospace Games at Dockweiler Beach. And we now have our highest ever acceptance rate for returning and converting offers from our summer interns. As I previously mentioned, with such a large need and in such a highly complex and technical industry, we need to partner with educational institutions across the entire spectrum to educate and grow the talent pipeline in terms of strength, skill set, diversity, and the domains that we need. Some examples of our many partnerships include the Northrop Grumman Foundation Teachers Academy, which was created in 2015 to elevate STEM education in middle school grades 5 through 8, within middle school districts located in Northrop Grumman communities. The Teachers Academy provides effective, blended, professional learning experiences to middle school level teachers so that they can better foster their students' interest in engineering, strengthen workforce skills, and expose students to STEM careers. Cyberpatriot, in its 12th season, conceived by the Air Force Association and presented by the Northrop Grumman Foundation, features the National Youth Cyber Defense Competition for high school and middle school aged youth, cyber camps, and elementary school education initiatives. The Northrop Grumman Summer Engineering Camp at USC serves 32 5th, 6th, and 7th grade students exploring aerospace, electrical, civil, and mechanical engineering with hands-on activities such as rockets, circuits, bridges, and robots. Expanding on robots, our sponsorship of VEX Robotics and the Robotics and Education Competition Foundation, a program that creates great learning, teamwork, and fun while exciting young minds in STEM. Another great example is our sponsorship of MESA, Mathematics, Engineering, Science Achievement programs at colleges and universities across all of California. And we are extremely proud supporters of the MESA program and the entire STEM Center here at El Camino College, led by Arturo Hernandez. And I am proud to announce here today that the Northrop Grumman Foundation will be continuing its support of both the MESA program and the STEM Center here at El Camino College, with a gift here in 2020 to continue the great work the MESA program and STEM Center are doing in preparing the students in our community to explore, excel, transfer, and graduate in STEM fields and careers critical to the needs of our community and workforce. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention our support of college and university food banks. And now during this pandemic, our support of student emergency funds, including the one here at El Camino College. And now transitioning to the final and most exciting part of my talk, our many partnerships with El Camino College. To dive a little bit deeper into specific partnerships between Northrop Grumman and El Camino College, I'll start at the front end of the college pipeline with our new cooperative education course, the Aerospace Manufacturing course. This 120-hour, 8-week pre-apprenticeship course earns college credit here at El Camino College and includes much appreciated funding from the South Bay Workforce Investment Board to provide a student stipend to students as well. This course is designed to help develop a clear technician pipeline for machining and engineering technician roles. This pipeline is designed to feed the multiple Northrop Grumman structured U.S. Department of Labor registered apprenticeship programs, which I'll detail next. And many thanks go to El Camino College, especially Jose Anaya and his entire team to get these apprenticeship programs registered. Not an easy task. This pre-apprenticeship program has created a nice feeder into our apprenticeship programs, the one with most history being the Machinist Apprenticeship Program that was started by my esteemed colleague Don McKenzie approximately 20 years ago, who was fortunate enough to speak at El Camino College's inaugural State of the College event just a couple of years ago. This is a 4-year apprenticeship program where apprentices get on-the-job training on the newest technologies and manufacture real but sample hardware, as well as go through a normal curriculum. This apprenticeship program has continued to evolve with the newest technologies, such as now including 3D printing and additive manufacturing. In addition to on-the-job training, this apprenticeship program includes curriculum critical to success in the aerospace industry, such as blueprint reading, programming, and more as part of the Machine Tool Technology program here at El Camino. Another amazing apprenticeship program that is much newer is the Manufacturing and Mechanical Electrical Technician Apprenticeship Program, TAP. Once again, taking from the students in the Cooperative Education course, we select students for this 2-year Manufacturing and Mechanical and Electrical TAP program. Similar to the Machinist program, this apprenticeship program is Department of Labor approved, again, thanks to Jose Anaya and his team, who also is helping us obtain relevant grants and reimbursements. This is a 2-year apprenticeship program that we continue to evolve and augment, and this year, despite COVID, we were able to create a safe and productive summer experience, and El Camino leadership helped support our virtual graduation. The program allows both the students and Northrop Grumman to evaluate different skill areas and assess best fits. One last partnership with El Camino College is the Electrical Assembly and Test Partnership. The Technical Electronics Assembly and Collaboration Homeroom, TEACH, curriculum between El Camino College and Northrop Grumman started in 2014 and has resulted in approximately 20 full-time employees for Northrop Grumman. Again, this earns credits toward their degree while receiving hands-on experience in a space flight lab and learning from senior manufacturing engineers and technicians. Again, this program allows us to support our local community while simultaneously identifying our future workforce. These individuals often end up getting hired into full-time assembler and technician roles, and in addition, if any of these employees are looking to continue to a 4-year STEM degree, we look for full-time engineering roles for them upon graduation. And pivoting to one final example, this time in a different skill set and domain, and with a different community college, even one in a different state, and from a different business within Northrop Grumman. I want to highlight Northrop Grumman's partnership with Red Rocks Community College in Colorado. And I believe we have President Michelle Haney from Red Rocks Community College in attendance, so we thank her for her college's partnership and support as well. And as Lieutenant General Hamill alluded to, there'll be more to come regarding partnerships with Red Rocks Community College later in the program. Red Rocks Community College, it is a NSA and Homeland Security Center of Academic Excellence in Cyber Defense, which, as I mentioned earlier, is one of our key domain areas as a company. Because of our focus there, we have a strong workforce need for employees in the cyber and systems administration domain. And with our strong presence in Colorado, we have a great engagement with Red Rocks Community College and have created a program that is also registered through the Department of Labor through Red Rocks Community College. This program pipelines students into careers at Northrop Grumman in cyber, network, and system administration. We help the students understand what these types of careers are like and also help them get the appropriate security clearances as well as their Security Plus certification. In terms of results, this program kicked off in 2017 and was registered with the Department of Labor in 2019. And so far, we've had 7 employees hired full-time and have another 12 in the pipeline. Overall, these are just a few examples of how we partner with community colleges, particularly El Camino. It is crucial for us to have a local college that supports our industry, and we are so thankful to have an amazing partner in El Camino College and innovative and dedicated leaders here that allow us to be creative to build out meaningful win-win partnerships. Not only do these programs support our own workforce and talent pipeline needs, but they also build the skill sets of those in our community and help produce great employees for other companies in the aerospace industry and supply chain, which ultimately benefits the industry as a whole. And with that, I'd like to thank all of you in the El Camino College community for being so receptive to the partnerships that we must build. And with that, I'll go ahead and turn it back over to Mark.
Thank you, Dr. Liao. We are so fortunate to have Northrop Grumman as a partner here at El Camino. Next, you'll meet an El Camino College student who offers her perspective on how we prepare students for careers in high-demand STEM fields. Zari Williams is a computer science major from Hawthorne. She's also part of the inaugural cohort of our computer science bachelor's degree pathway partnership with Cal State Dominguez Hills. Zari?
Hi, everybody. I'm currently a sophomore at El Camino College, and I'm in the Warrior Toro cohort, which is dedicated to computer science. So I just want to start by talking about a little bit about how I actually got interested in STEM. So I started out with STEM when I was younger, and it began when my mom put me in a program that it kind of catered to like Black children to get them interested in like STEM and see what other careers that they want to do. So that was called the Ernest E. Just, and we learned about marine life, biology, and coding. So coding was the main thing that stuck out to me. And I was like, you know what, this is actually really interesting, you know? And for some reason, when I got older, a little bit older, I wanted to be an actress. So I went to Thomas Starr King, and I was in the film and media magnet. And then when I went to high school, again, I was in school for acting. So, and I went to Hamilton High. So when I started getting around my 11th grade year, 12th grade year is when everybody started talking about, what are you going to do with your life? You know, asking you questions all the time, like, what's your major? What are you going to do? What are you interested in? And I never really thought about it. You know, I was kind of living in fantasy land until I actually started applying for college. And I looked at all the Cal States, and I looked at community colleges and everything. And then the pivotal moment for me was when I went to Girls Who Code, which is like, it's just a program for them to get girls who are interested in STEM and teach them a little programming so that they can see if that's something that they want to do. And it was taught by all females. Like every time we had a presentation, it was just women. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. So yeah, that's what really got me interested into it. So then my senior year, I was telling everyone, okay, I'm gonna major in computer science. Like, you know, I should do computer science. And at my high school, they didn't even tell me that we had computer science courses. So I was kind of behind in like getting my career started that I wanted to do. So it was just, I kind of felt that they didn't prepare us for college as I would have liked. They didn't have like a lot of opportunities there. So when I did start applying, I seen El Camino, and my mom was like, you know what, you should apply to El Camino. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Because you kind of think of, I kind of thought of community college as something to fall back on. And so like, just in case you didn't get into the school you wanted. And I was like, you know what, sure. So when I put my major as computer science, I got the pop-up for this new program. It was called the Warrior Toro cohort. And I read about it, and I was like, okay, you know. And when I was applying, I didn't really think about it. I didn't see it as something that was important. So I just kind of skimmed over it and I left it alone. But then after a while, I was like, you know what? This actually looks like a really good program. It's taking you through all 4 years of college. Like it wasn't just something at El Camino. It's also a program that you transferred to Dominguez as well. And they pay for all 4 years of your all 4 years of your college. And they give you like, you're gonna have personal like connections. So like with the other people that are in the program, and they're catering to like your every need. Like especially with classes too, because my parents didn't graduate. So they didn't really know how the system worked, and I didn't know anything either. So the fact that the program actually like applies to my classes for me, like they talk to all my teachers for us, and we have a small class, and even when we're struggling, like they help us out a lot. Like when we our first semester we started, it was really hard. I didn't really take college that serious. I thought it was just high school, but in a bigger campus. And it was really hard because I was taking calculus, I was taking computer science. I didn't really know like about anything about those subjects. So when we expressed to our coordinator, her name is Daniela, we expressed to Daniela that we were having trouble. And she was like, okay, we're gonna start getting you tutoring. So she So the whole program, the cohort, they got a specific math tutor to just tutor us in math. And most of us actually ended up passing the class. So I think it's just really important to note that they actually take care of you. Like they're actually trying to see you succeed. Like it's not just a program that is just meant to look good. Like it actually is a good program. And so another thing is the cohort isn't the only thing that supports us, but also El Camino as a whole. So along with the extra help that we do get from the cohort, there are other programs here. So like the math tutoring, there's actually another center just for math tutoring. So if our tutor wasn't around, we could just go there and ask for help. And that was with computer science and math. And then you also have, I know what Dr. Liao was talking about before, the Mesa Center. I'm also part of that program as well. And they help you with the harder classes. So right now I'm taking physics, very hard class. I just want to put that out there. And we have, they're still doing tutoring, but it's just virtually. And even when we were still able to come on campus, I would come in here and I would like go to some of the math tutors, or even just go in there and just kind of have a community that can kind of relate to what I'm doing. So me and some of my other cohort members will go in there and do our work and things like that. So that's also helpful as well. And the Mesa Center doesn't even just do tutoring. They also had resume workshops. They have like opportunities for you to apply for internships, and they really are helpful. Like when you're trying to decide what you want to do with your career, they give you so many options to just think about. Also clubs too. Clubs here at El Camino. I did join a few clubs, but my schedule was a little bit hectic, so I didn't get to stay in it. But they did have a lot of, they had a computer science club, and they had a robotics club that I was interested in. They also have a BSU. They also have just a whole lot of clubs that I'm really interested in. It's a little bit harder because it's virtual, but I know it probably would have been fun if I was able to join. And also, they also give us a lot of encouragement. So encouragement is something that personally I need. Like support is a really big thing for me. And Daniela, who is over the cohort, she really does encourage us to do our best. Like even when we feel like it's really hard and we have no idea what we're gonna do, like for instance, for our first semester of college, a lot of us were scared that we were gonna fail our first computer science class. So every Friday we would have these meetings, and she was like, okay guys, you guys need to be studying, you need to make a schedule. You know, she would really listen to the concern in our voices and try to put ease into our minds. But eventually most of us ended up passing the class, you know, so that was good. But it's really nice to know that you don't have to just depend on yourself, and that other people are willing to help you. And even my parents, like they're really supportive too, like having them like encourage me to keep doing my work. And even though my math or something was really hard, and like I'm gonna be honest, like I really did break down a few times because it was just really hard, but they just told me to just believe in myself and that this is something that I was meant to do and not to just give up. And even with COVID has been crazy. It's so hard learning getting your degree and going to school at the same time, and you're staying at home and everyone's at home with you. It's very hard. And so I think that El Camino has done a really good job. They do have a lot of workshops, and they also, another thing is, it's a little bit sad, but I did lose my dad like during COVID. And the first person from El Camino that I called was Daniela. And I was telling her, I was like, Daniela, you know, my dad just died. And I was talking about how I was like scared to go back to school. And she was like, don't worry about it, you know, because somebody else in my program had a similar experience as well. And she was just saying that, you know, that whatever we needed, she was there, and we would work something out, you know, if anything did happen. So it was just really nice to have that kind of support. And even here, I think they had a grief council at El Camino, and I went to one of the meetings, but I didn't really need like counseling or anything, but I just checked it out. And it was really good that they even had that option. Even though I didn't need it, it was just nice to know that it's there. And so, Yeah. And then I also want to talk about just STEM in general. I looked it up, and for every one woman that's in STEM, there's 7 men. And that's a really big difference. And when I'm sitting in the rooms, like when we take field trips to Google or Hulu, I just noticed there's just a lot of men everywhere. And it's a little bit frightening because you kind of think like, do I fit into a place like this? You know, I think there needs to be a little bit more diversification when it comes to like computer science jobs. But I think that's one thing I would tell other students is like, you can be that change. Like, for instance, I'm that change right now. Like, I'm the only female currently in the first year cohort program. And it's a little bit weird because I don't really have anyone that can like to talk about my experiences, even though like I do have other people at El Camino. It's just a little bit different. So that's just something I wish we had more of, was just a little bit more diversity. But in general, coming to El Camino was honestly one of the best decisions of my life. And I will forever be grateful for being accepted into this school and into the amazing program that is the Warrior Toro. So thank you.
Thank you, Zari. It is easy to see why we're so proud of our students at El Camino College when you meet students like her. So thank you, Zari, for being with us today. I now have the pleasure of introducing today's keynote speaker, Dr. Dina Maloney. President Maloney began her career in higher education at College of the Canyons in Santa Clarita, where she was the founding dean of the Canyon Country campus. Later, she served as president of Taft College in Kern County before becoming president of El Camino College in 2016. During her time here, President Maloney has focused on building a culture of innovation and collaboration to support student achievement. This has included a significant expansion of our South Bay Promise program, strengthening our partnerships with four-year universities, and implementing guided pathways that ensure students have a clear path to achieving their goals. She's a South Bay native with degrees from Loyola Marymount, Georgetown, and the University of La Verne. Dr. Maloney will retire as president of El Camino College in June 2021 after 5 years of exemplary service. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Dina Maloney.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much, Mark, for that introduction. Welcome everybody to the 2020 State of the College at El Camino College. I'm so proud you're all here. I first want to thank Zari for her story and sharing her story with us today. We're going to work on more diversity for you, Zari, because I think you exemplify the best of El Camino College. We know you have a very bright future ahead of you. I also want to thank Lindsay Stutz for her beautiful rendition of the national anthem. And I'm grateful as well to the other speakers who have graciously shared their time and expertise with us. Bill Allen, Lieutenant General Michael Hamill, and Dr. David Liao. The insights you provided today are invaluable. We're also grateful to have our community partners from across the business, education, and government sectors joining us at this event. Although we'd much rather be with you in person today, I'm pleased to extend a warm El Camino Warrior welcome to you all. Virtual gatherings like this is just one example of how drastically life has changed since we last met for the State of the College a year ago. The speed and severity of the COVID-19 pandemic has truly been shocking. Here at El Camino College, we were only a few weeks into the 2020 spring semester when it became clear the rapidly spreading virus would force significant changes to every aspect of our operations. Since mid-March, our classroom instruction, student services, and business functions have been delivered largely online. Consistent with the guidance we've received from the California Community College System Chancellor and our public health agencies, we'll remain in this online mode through at least the end of the 2021 spring semester. The main exception is a few courses that are being held on campus because they don't lend themselves well to remote delivery and because they've been identified by the state of California as essential during the pandemic. These include our programs in nursing, respiratory therapy, radiologic technology, public safety, and manufacturing. This has been a complex and challenging few months, but I've witnessed incredible patience, flexibility, creativity, and determination among the students, faculty, and staff at El Camino College. Of course, higher education is just one of the many industries that have experienced the upheaval caused by the pandemic. Across all sectors of the economy, we're seeing staggering job losses. Jobs are disappearing, businesses are closing, people are struggling. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported nearly 13 million Americans were unemployed in September. That follows a devastatingly high 23 million who had lost jobs in April. More than 19 million people reported in September they were unable to work because their employer had either shut down or lost business due to the pandemic. And one analysis found that between 19 and 23 million renters in this country, that's 1 in 5, were at risk of being evicted by the end of September. Here at home, some 3 million Americans are unemployed, with about a third of those in Los Angeles County. A number of sectors within our local economy have seen significant drops in employment during the COVID recession. As Bill Allen mentioned, arts, entertainment and recreation, leisure and hospitality, as well as accommodations and food services are all down close to 40%. Manufacturing has seen a 10% dip. Professional, scientific, and technical positions are down by nearly 7%. The numbers are sobering, and although we've experienced economic downturns before, this recession seems to be moving with the same speed and severity as the pandemic itself. There is so much work to be done to get our economy running again and to get those who are struggling back on their feet. Here at El Camino College, we're ready and able to help make that happen. As a community college for the South Bay, El Camino has a vital role to play in the recovery ahead. A recent report by EMSI illustrates the economic impact of El Camino College across this region. Through the sum of our payroll, our expenditures relating to our operations, and the dollars expended on capital construction projects, the multiplier effect of El Camino's business activity equates to some 3,700 jobs. El Camino College also adds more than $354 million of income to the South Bay region, half of which comes from those who earned a degree at El Camino and now live or work in the South Bay. Our graduates purchase homes, expend their wages within the community, and contribute to the economic engine of the greater South Bay. These alumni are products of career education and academic degree programs specifically designed to produce marketable employees who are ready to enter the workforce, thanks to real-world training. These programs are also designed to serve a wide variety of student needs, and that's especially important now as we recover economically from this pandemic. Some students will come to us because they need to start a new educational path due to job loss. Others will need to update their skills so they can hold on to the position they currently have or to move up in their careers. No matter what path a student travels to get here, a supportive academic environment is waiting at El Camino College. I gratefully acknowledge that the top quality educational experience we provide at El Camino is only possible because of the relationships we enjoy with all of you. Working with our partners in business and industry, we're able to carefully tailor our curriculum to meet workforce needs. And those partnerships will be more important than ever as we learn to navigate a post-COVID economy together. The big question is, of course, what exactly will that look like? We can be confident that the South Bay economy will eventually recover, but how different will that new landscape be? I'm encouraged by a few indicators from before the COVID pandemic. For example, data from the 2020 Economic Forecast and Industry Outlook produced by California State University Dominguez Hills highlights the South Bay industries that have been on the rise since 2019 based on capital investment. Take a look at some of these figures. Space tourism, more than $4.5 billion invested. Electric vehicle platforms, $1.3 billion, almost $800 million invested in robotic process automation, and $612 million in cloud workload protection. The report also identifies some of the biggest investors in the South Bay, and the names are familiar: NASA, the U.S. Department of Defense, and the National Science Foundation. These industries sound familiar too. As we all know, the South Bay has long been the heart of Southern California's aerospace, defense, and advanced manufacturing sectors. We're a national hub as well. These industries were thriving before the pandemic, and we're confident they'll continue to thrive when it's over. That's why El Camino College has launched an innovative partnership that I'm excited to tell you about. Working with our counterparts at Red Rocks Community College, located in the western suburbs of Denver, we're launching a first-in-the-nation community college collaboration to create the Cyber, Space, and Supply Talent Development Center. This collaboration brings together two regional aerospace hubs and maximizes opportunities for partnerships with stakeholders that share our economic and workforce development goals in STEM and aerospace. Both our colleges excel at aligning classes with jobs and helping people obtain workforce relevant experience. Red Rocks is a national leader on the cybersecurity front, with designation from the National Security Agency and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security as a Center of Academic Excellence in Cyber Defense, a cybersecurity-related Bachelor of Applied Science degree program, and a regional OSHA training center that serves 6 states and is authorized by the U.S. Department of Labor. And Red Rock's location in Colorado positions it perfectly for a partnership like this. Just last month, leaders there from aerospace, education, business, and government officially kicked off an effort to brand Colorado as Aerospace Alley. The state's private aerospace employment workforce of over 30,000 people is second only to California and is the highest in the nation per capita. This industry contributes more than $15 billion annually to Colorado's economy. The state also boasts nearly 280 aerospace businesses and over 500 companies and suppliers providing space-related products and services. Because we share such a dynamic economic foundation and have relationships with many of the same aerospace companies, we couldn't ask for a better partner in this endeavor than Red Rocks Community College. And as you know, joining us here today from Colorado is Red Rocks Community College President, Dr. Michelle Haney. Please take a moment to recognize our partners from Red Rocks. Here at El Camino, we have helped over 6,600 people in Southern California secure workforce training and apprenticeships over the last 8 years, leading to high demand, high wage jobs at over 250 aerospace companies. If you attended the State of the College in 2018, you know that El Camino is a leader in the California Apprenticeship Initiative through its Aerospace Technician Apprenticeship Program, which is designed to help employers like Northrop Grumman sponsor apprentices. We're also a partner in UCLA's Smart Manufacturing Institute to advance a new workforce development model for education and training. And we're a member of the California Advanced Supply Chain Analysis and Diversification Effort, or Cascade, a governor office initiative that's focused on the cybersecurity resiliency of California's defense supply chain. With the creation of the Space, Cyber, and Supply Talent Development Center, El Camino College and Red Rocks Community College seek to accomplish 3 major goals. First, we'll establish a new economic and workforce development educational effort that's focused on each institution's strengths in aerospace, cyber, and supply chain talent development. Secondly, we'll share specific company connections to further expand opportunities and cutting-edge, in-demand curriculum leading to robust job placements. And third, we'll work together on instruction and sharing best practices. To be clear, This new talent development center will take time and effort to get off the ground. Critical first steps, such as securing funding and identifying a location, are just now getting underway. Due to the pandemic, it seems very likely the Talent Development Center will initially operate online and leverage existing curriculum and training needed by today's employers and job seekers. But eventually, a physical location will be needed, one that can house job developers, job placement specialists, and educational training partners. There is much to be done, but working closely with our partners, both at Red Rocks Community College in Colorado and with all of you here in the South Bay, we'll make this bold new initiative a reality. We're in a difficult moment that calls for creative thinking and fresh ideas like this. The many thousands of our fellow Californians and folks in Colorado who have been hurt by this pandemic and economic collapse are counting on opportunities like this to reboot their careers and put their lives back together. One of El Camino College's inherent strengths is that it's a community college. We do our best work when we link arms with you, our community partners, to identify problems, create solutions, and build up a healthy, robust workforce. That's when the state of the college is truly strong. So in whatever capacity you can, I invite you to join us in this work. That might start with assessing the needs of your business and what challenges you see coming in your industry. What skill sets are required in your talent pipeline? Let's work together to discover how El Camino College and Red Rocks Community College can provide solutions for these challenges, because serving our communities in this way is our very purpose. I want to thank you all for being here today, and thank you for your continuing support of El Camino College.
Thank you, President Maloney. On behalf of El Camino College, our thanks to all of you for attending our third annual State of the College. We're grateful to everyone who made this event possible, and we look forward to working with all of you to build on the success of our partnerships. If you have any questions about what you've learned today or would like to explore ways we can work together, please contact us at marcom@elcamino.edu. Following today's event, you'll be sent a digital copy of our annual report, which provides a snapshot of El Camino's accomplishments and a look at our bright future. Thank you again for coming. Please stay safe and healthy, and have a great day.